Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. And today we're doing part 2 of the Alphabet of Fear. And let's boogie. I think when we left off we were talking about hippopotam monstrous equidipophilia phobia. No, we were talking about insectophobia. And I gave it a 6. Next up, Compoundophobia. That's awesome. First of all, I love that word. Compoundophobia. That's dope. It's the fear of buttons. Kinda. I think there's like anything that has a button on it has like an unsettling feel to it, but I wouldn't necessarily call it scary. It's just so old school and vintage that there's like a sweetness to it, but it's also like I said, it's kind of unsettling in a way. 4 out of 10. Leukophobia, the fear of the color white. I didn't know what to put here, so I just didn't put anything because this one speaks for itself. Yeah. Next one. Megalophobia, the fear of large things. This one I understand to a point. Like big things like Cthulhu, terrifying. Kaiju, pretty spooky. Buildings, not so much. That hand thing, I have no idea what that is, but I put that there because that looks awesome. I would love to walk across that. I don't know where it is. I did no further research beyond seeing it in the Megalophobia Google images and using it. Don't know anything else about it, but it's cool looking. But I was thinking about this one too. And it's funny that the buildings pop up when you look that up, because that was my first thought, is how would somebody with megalophobia handle being in the city? Would it be like a constant state of stress and just like uncomfortability? Because that would be awful. Like, I mean, a lot of these would be awful if you had them, but like, that would be awful. Like, ones like this, I feel like are fairly easy to avoid. Like, I don't think you could for your whole life, but I feel like that's a lot easier to avoid than this. There's a lot of big things out there. Noctophobia, the fear of the night. This one was interesting to me. Oh yeah, did I rate these? No, I didn't. I don't think so. Well, if I did, then we're gonna redo them, because I'll give that one like a 3. That one a 1. That one I'll give like a 5. And this one I'll give it a 6. Only because I feel like living with noctophobia would be such a terrible, terrible way to like do it. Like, you'd have to go to bed at like 6:30 and then wake up at like 7:30 the next day to like avoid it, or stay inside with like the lights on. I don't know if that would still be spooky to someone with noctophobia, but like that just we'll give that a 6. Octophobia, the fear of the figure 8, or probably the number, because I kept seeing the number 8 when I looked it up. How do you discover that? I mean, how do you discover any of these? But how do you discover that? Are you like writing them down and you get to 8 and you just have like a panic attack? Where does it come from? I know a lot of fears lie dormant from like trauma. But this one specifically, I have no idea. We'll give that a 5. Because someone living with that would be awful, because numbers are everywhere. Pterodophobia, fear of ferns. I didn't even fully know what a fern was until I looked up this word. That maybe I could understand if you live in like an area where those are heavy and like you know the dangers that could be behind them. I feel like it's the same argument as the like, not fear of darkness, but fear of what's in the darkness. You know what I mean? It's like not the fear of the plant itself maybe, but what could be behind it. So we'll give that one a 7. And that's more, like I said, for people who live near this type of thing. Somnophobia, the fear of sleep. This would be awful. I personally love sleep so much. I can't get enough of it, literally, because I go to bed at like 5 and I'm up by 11. If that, sometimes 9. But, dude, that's gotta be awful. Like, I get it, because I've actually, like, I've had night terrors, and I've had, like, sleep, not apnea, that's not the word. The thing where, like, you're awake and you can't move. Sleep paralysis. I've had that before too, and it's terrifying. It really can be spooky. So, we'll give that one like a 6. Trypophobia. This one is way more common than I thought it would be. Like, there's a lot of people that fear this type of thing. And the thing is when you Google this, it's a lot of it's like on skin. And it's very upsetting to look at. Like, it's understandable. And I don't know if it comes from a fear aspect of, like, they think they'll get it. Or, like, you know, just the holes in general are what's spooky. But I'm not afraid of it, but it looks gross. Like, gross. I keep forgetting that I scroll and it does that. Verminophobia, the fear of germs. I feel like that's a fairly common one too. Did I rate this? We'll give it a 7. Like, I know Howie Mandel has it, even though he, you know, the old TikTok video he showed last year was quite the opposite. But this one, like, the people that you see that have it are like a wreck all the time. Because there are literal germs everywhere on everything and every surface all the time. So that's gotta be like, oh, that would be so awful. I could care less. I get my hands dirty. I'm a man. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not making fun of anybody with any of these fears. At least not intentionally. So, only because the people who do have this, I can't, like, imagine how that would be, like, trying to live like that. I'll give him a 6. Wiccophobia, fear of witches and witchcraft. Understandable. Like, you never know. You never know what's going on in ye old cauldron, if you will. Yeah. I had no idea what exactly to put for this, so this is the first thing I thought of. Zoogerphobia, the fear of vacuum cleaners. This has to be like dogs, right? Like, they had to have done this because, like, they felt bad and they were like, well, you know, enough dogs are afraid of vacuum cleaners, let's give it a name. I've never met a human person afraid of a vacuum cleaner besides children. And even then, they hear it like 3 or 4 times and they're fine. Wait. I think I gave that a 7. I'm gonna give that a 4. I guess it gotta be a 1. That seems like an easy one to overcome. Either, you know, sit and listen to vacuum noises for a while, or buy a quieter vacuum. That's an easy fix. And the last but not least, zoophobia, fear of animals. This one, when I first looked at it, I thought was kind of goofy, but the more that I looked at it and the more I kind of thought about it, I was like, okay. Like, especially thinking where, like, fears come from is, like, you get them by being exposed to said thing or whatever. That's understandable. Animals can be nuts, dude. I mean, look at this thing. Look at that. All that ferocity. All that aggression. Like, how could you not be afraid of it? Like, they're just absolute monster to society. Ouch. But yeah. We'll give that one like a 6. I think that's pretty reasonable. So yeah, you know, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you're having a good day. If you're watching early on, have a good rest of your day. See you in the next one. Until then. Yeah, you know, will you not, like, fix yourself, brother? Ouch. Okay. But yeah, until then, you know, buy a quieter vacuum. If you have peanut butter stuck to the roof of your mouth, drink some milk. And avoid the zoo. There we go. All solid advice. I don't know. Until next one. See ya.